I hope you guys like Japanese sports cars because in today's automotive news, the Acura/Honda NSX is getting the Type R treatment, the Lexus RCF is getting a new special edition, the GTR is getting a final edition, and we get more information on when the next Subaru WRX will be dropping. Over at Best Car Web, Japanese scoop site, they have a lot of information here, especially about Japanese only vehicles. And we're not going to dive too much in. I mean, there's the HRV, they call it something a little bit, the Vezel, they call it the Vezel. This little N1 looks like a Mini, but today we're here for one specific reason. Not to talk about this 1 liter 3-cylinder, talk about this bad boy. The NSX Type R scheduled to appear in October of 2021, and this will demonstrate the ultimate performance that symbolizes Type R. Looking at the render here, it's supposed to use a lot more carbon fiber than your average NSX, which makes it lighter. I hope they add this big wing to it as well. So they're going to be using the Civic Type R strategy and apply it to the NSX Type R. And this will be the highest performance model that exceeds the standard model, of course. So the power unit is a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, which is the same that it's in the current one, but they're boosting the output to 650 PS. That's about 641 horsepower, and that's a big increase from the 573 that is in the current NSX. Other than the carbon fiber and the power output, they're of course tuning the chassis. Now it doesn't stop there. The NSX Spider is scheduled to appear in December 2021. Open model appears in the Japanese market following the Lexus LC. Convertible, that's what they're referring to. So take these with a grain of salt, but I would actually be more excited for the Spider version of the NSX. I mean, just based off this render here, it looks stunning. It looks so cool with the airflow slants, I don't know what you call it, off the back of the headrest. I just love that about Spiders. So what would you be more excited for? Would you be more excited for the NSX Spider or the Type R? I mean, I would be all over the Spider. That's just me. Over at the Lexus newsroom, the Ultimate 2021 RCF and RCF Fuji Speedway Edition. Okay, so what did they change for 2021 here? Well, all new 472 horsepower RCF Fuji Speedway Edition. Well, the 472 horsepower is not new. They've had that in the RCF since it came out. Technically, they added one more horsepower to it in 2019 when they refreshed it. And they've standardized blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert, heated mirrors, and memory driver's seat on the RCF. All right, that's it. That's all they changed. I'll see you guys in the next article. I'm just kidding. There's a few more changes, but I don't even know why they even make a full press release on this. So really, what's different about this Fuji Speedway Edition? Well, it's only 60 units, just like supposedly last year the Track Edition was only 60 units. This is the same Track Edition. They just changed the colors to it. And no, you're not getting the Zero Halliburton luggage like you get on the other special editions of Lexus models this year. Okay, so it will be available in Arctic Blast Satin or Cloudburst Gray. Now, Cloudburst Gray we finally saw for the first time on the RC, not the RCF, but the pleb version of it with the V6 or the Turbo 4, depending on the option you get. But Cloudburst Gray, I'll show a picture of it. It looks like the replacement of Nebula Gray. Doesn't look much different to me. Maybe a little less blue tint, a little bit more sparkly. I don't know, it's really hard to tell until I see it in person. Now, Arctic Blast Satin sounds pretty badass. Is a unique white paint possessing a semi-matte finish. The paint expresses a beautiful satin luster like that of a true matte finish, yet it is durable enough to go through an automatic car wash. Zach Morris, time out. The paint that we saw on the RCF 10th Anniversary Edition was Nebula Gray Matte. Beautiful color. It was kind of like a gunmetal gray that was a matte finish. The problem was it had a booklet this thick that explain how you need to wash the car. You can't run it through an automatic wash. You couldn't use soap on the car. Like, you had to use citric acid and water, and it had to be hand washed. Well, they're like, okay, well, let's try something different here where someone can actually run that car through the wash. That was a big deterrent for a lot of prospective buyers. I'm not joking, because you couldn't wash the car. Like you would have to do it hand wash, and not that many people who can afford a $80,000, $90,000 car want to hand wash their car. So now they have this matte finish, this white matte finish, which we don't have pictures for, unfortunately, but I'm really excited to see it in person one day. Now inside the Every cockpit, it's decorated with circuit red leather seats with Alcantara. So there's nothing new on the interior, unfortunately, but you get red carbon fiber ornamentation. Although you don't get the Zero Halliburton luggage, included with the purchase of RCF Fuji Speedway Edition will be a limited production MSTR, or Master Automatic Movement Watch. This timepiece features RCF inspired elements such as a gunmetal bezel, red stitching on its band, and a Fuji Speedway and F logos. Now, don't have a picture of this, which, I mean, if I had the picture of it and I liked it, I would just buy the car, of course. I guess anything else new, Android Auto is now included on the standard multimedia, which already features Amazon Alexa and Apple CarPlay. So really, that's the only noticeable feature for the standard RCF. Not this special Fuji edition. That's going to have Android Auto too, but they're finally adding Android Auto to the RCF. Hey guys, if you enjoy my coverage of Japanese and Korean autos, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also smash the like button while you're at it. This helps me out so much with YouTube recommendations. And let's keep this momentum going and hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Over at Motor One, Nissan GT-R R35 Final Edition coming in 2022 with 710 horsepower. And it's supposed to look a lot like this Ital design, which is the same horsepower as the Ital design. So I mean, this is the coolest looking GT-R I've seen personally. I haven't seen it in person, but you know what I'm talking about. Now, supposedly it's only going to be 20 units, and this thing is not going to be cheap. Where the normal Nismo comes in at $210,000, Final Edition is going to be $377,000. A Final Edition is cool and everything, but I mean, we know a new GT-R is going to be coming out. So how many people do you think would buy the Final Edition GT-R of this generation for $300,000 when a new generation comes out, let's say a year or two later, for $150,000, half the price, and it'll probably have the same performance, if not better. New powertrain hybrid, it's rumored, have a new KERS system in it. Yeah, I mean, if it looks like this, they're gonna find buyers because there's only 20 of them. And this is going to be definitely a collector's car. Probably Jay Leno will get his hands on it, and you know, probably Doug DeMuro will review it. All right, over at Auto Evolution, new Subaru WRX S4 coming in 2021 with the FA24 turbo will rival Mercedes AMG A35. Now they got this information from Best Car, so I'm just going to hop over there. So they're saying this is scheduled to appear in August of 2021. So yeah, it's less than a year away. I think a lot of us are excited about it, and I hope it doesn't look like this render. I mean, this looks almost identical to the current car, and I don't think it looks very good. And they said it's likely to adopt the SGP Plus full inner frame structure similar to the new Levorg. When that new Levorg came out, all the publication sites from Japan, or at least the ones I read, were saying, oh yeah, the new WRX is going to share a ton with this new Levorg. So it doesn't really surprise me that we're hearing more of it. Now, we knew that the powertrain was going to be upgraded to the FA24 turbo, and the tuning makes the torque thick from low speed and improves the total balance. And I am excited for that because that's one of the issues I had with driving the current WRX or STIs, is that you get a turbo lag. That's not the most fun thing, in my opinion, when you're driving a manual transmission. When you're driving a manual, you like it to be predictable, and you do get used to that turbo lag, and you can predict it and, you know, shift accordingly, but it's just not ideal, I guess. But if they can have more linear, or just a fat torque band where you don't get that huge turbo lag, that's going to be a better manual driving experience. They think that the power could be suppressed to around 280 to 290 PS. So that's maybe about 275 to 280 horsepower. And they say the STI is scheduled to appear in March of 2022. And then this is going a step further, targeting the A45 AMG. Now they're saying like this is going to have the manual transmission. They say that possibly the WRX could only get a CVT, and that would be a huge, huge letdown if that is the case. But maybe, I hope that's not the case. I'll just leave it at that. And then their new EV, which is on the TNGA or the eTNGA platform shared with Toyota, scheduled to appear in April 2022. But here's something we didn't really expect. Four-wheel drive sports hatchback for WRC. So it looks like they could be badging the GR Yaris, because that's exactly what this looks like with some Subaru styling on it. I mean, if it looks like that even, in some ways, that looks even cooler than the GR Yaris. So if it does come out though, guys, don't expect it ever to come to the United States. Expect it to be Japan, maybe Europe only. So, but man, what a cool little Toyota Subaru pocket rocket this thing is. And moving on to Suzuki over at CarAdvice, Suzuki Jimny still sold out for the next 6 to 12 months as demand continues to rise. Now this is over in Australia, so approximately 2,500 Jimny four-wheel drives have been sold in Australia since 2019, more than 1,000 which have been delivered so far this year alone. Suzuki is canceling the Jimny for much of Western Europe, except they are taking out the backseat and selling it as a commercial vehicle for a little less money. And yeah, apparently that's going to increase volume of sales too. So they're doing it really smartly there. But they didn't have to quite go so radical. This is just still the same Jimny, but Australia has very relaxed emission standards, kind of like America. So they're able to continue to sell it there as unmodified, I guess you could say. So Jimny sales have increased almost 17% in the first 8 months of this year versus last year. Pretty crazy. Depending on which dealer you go to, it'll be a 6 to 12 month wait. We're hoping to bring the waiting time down to 3 months. We're just not going to get there at the moment. The more Jimnys we sell, the more people to come in to buy one. I mean, gosh, oh, I love the Jimny. I'd love to have it here. You know, I've talked about ways that could make it to America. Toyota rebadged it and called it like a mini Land Cruiser or something. And I think that would work. But yeah, unfortunately, we're never going to see it at this rate. And lastly, over at Motor One Luxurious Fleet, the LM minivan costs up to $215,000 US, where it's sold in China. It's also sold in, I think, Japan and other parts of Southeast Asia. But there is a 7-seater, guys. So if you're a little worried about the price of the $215,000, you can get the 7-seater version, which has captain's chairs in the second row and a bench in the back. But that still sells for over $170,000 US for the reskinned, re-outfitted Toyota Alphard, which is a phenomenal van we also don't get here in the United States. But the Sienna isn't too bad either. But yeah, the LM300H or the LM350, I think is that the V6 version, would be an awesome van. I would love to have it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the interior of this thing, but I'll put a picture. It's out of control. And if you wanted the Alphard variant, lower class Toyota, that's still $120,000, and that goes up to $127,000. But that sums it up for today's news, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't hit the like button, you've made it this far, go ahead and do that. Subscribe if you're not. And more news to come. Lots of great things happening. And make sure to tune into my upcoming live streams for upcoming products. We are getting a new Hyundai Santa Fe this week. The new Nissan Z is coming out this week. And then in a couple weeks, we're getting the teaser for the Infiniti QX60 monograph. So lots of product reveals happening, and I expect that to keep coming because this year's coming to end. I expect some more exciting things to come down the hatch, especially because there are no really auto shows. The Beijing auto show that's going to be going on doesn't count, and the LA auto show was just moved to May. So yeah, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. I love you guys, and peace out.